Hello students, welcome to Home Science class. Today we will be continuing with the Unit 6 Basics of Nutrition. So, in this chapter, in the previous class, we have already learned about the water. Let us recapitulate that one. And the water, it is the most essential constituent of our body. This accounts for 55 to 70% of our total body weight. Water is a universal solvent. Under the heading water, we have gone through the sources of the water to the body, where beverages and liquid foods, etc. The water content of the solid, metabolic water. These are some of the sources of water to the body, and the functions of the water, requirements and deficiency, as well as excess effects of water on the body. In this class, we will be learning the fiber. Fiber. The dietary fiber is defined as the component of plant material in the diet that cannot be digested by the human enzymes. It includes all the undigestible polysaccharides, cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, pectins, gums, etc. Eat more fiber. We have all heard this advice so many times. So, we assume it is good for us, right? The problem is that the fiber and flavor might seem like opposite for many of us. Flavor is a typical driver of the food choice, but the reality is that fiber can have flavor along with the medicinal effects also to potentially help and prevent the common diseases. Some of the food sources of the fiber are whole grain cereals, fruits, vegetables, etc. So, what do you mean by the fiber? Fiber is defined as the component of plant material. It is a component of plant material. Component of plant material in the diet. This cannot be digested by human enzymes. Cannot be digested by human enzymes. These includes all the undigestible polysaccharides. Undigestible polysaccharides, cellulose and hemicellulose, polysaccharides, cellulose, hemicelluloses, lignin, pectins, gums, etc. When coming to the classifications, soluble as well as insoluble as the soluble fibers as well as the insoluble fibers. See, now what are soluble fibers and insoluble fiber? Soluble fibers means which are viscous and fermentable. This includes pectin, gums and mucilages. Soluble fibers are viscous and fermentable. Viscous as well as fermentable. These includes pectin, gums, etc. So dietary fibers could be classified into two groups. One is the soluble fiber, another one is the insoluble fibers. When coming to the soluble fiber, these soluble fibers are those which are viscous and fermentable. These includes pectin, gums, mucilages, etc. Soluble fiber is a type of fiber that attracts the water and forms a gel-like substance. This gel causes a slowing of the digestion process, which can be beneficial for weight loss. The foods which are high soluble fibers includes some of the edible plant skins, nuts, gums, pectins, oats, etc. And the second one is the insoluble fibers. When coming to insoluble fibers, these are non-viscous. Non-viscous. Insoluble fibers are non-viscous and slowly fermentable. And non-fermentable, these are slowly fermentable. These includes cellulose. Celluloses, hemicellulose and lignin, etc. The dietary fibers are defined as the component of plant material in the diet which cannot be digested by the human enzymes. This includes all the undigestible polysaccharides, cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, pectin, gums, etc. Although the fiber cannot be digested, this could be it is being moved down the digestive tract, and the nutrients are being digested, and this can do some great things that positively impact our health. When coming to the classification, the dietary fibers are classified into two types, two major groups. First one is soluble fiber, second one is insoluble fibers. The soluble fibers are viscous and fermentable. These includes pectin, gums and mucilages. When coming to the insoluble fibers, these are non-viscous, slowly fermentable. These includes the cellulose, hemicelluloses and lignin. Next, we'll move on to the food sources. Which are the food sources of fiber? The foods such as whole grain cereals. Food sources. When coming to the food sources, whole grain cereals, When coming to the food sources, whole grain cereals, fruits, vegetables, and see the foods like the whole thereby increasing the fecal bulk. So, absorb and hold the water, and constipation. Okay, constipation. The next one is the contraction. Helps in contraction. The next one is absorption. The next one is it binds bile acids, and cholesterol. Coronary heart diseases. Helps in the coronary heart diseases. And the next one is it reduce cholesterol level. Reduces the cholesterol level in the body. And weight reduction. It helps in the weight reduction. Satiety, and low blood sugar. Low blood helps in the low blood sugar level. Next one is lower insulin requirement. Lower the insulin requirement. And the next one is it prevents cancer. Prevents the cancers of colon and rectum. These are some of the functions of fiber. First one, the fiber can absorb and hold the water, which increases the fecal bulk. The insoluble fiber will prevent the constipation by stimulating the peristalsis in the large intestine. When the fiber stimulates the peristalsis in the large intestine, the constipation will be prevented. When the contraction of the muscular wall of the digestive tract will be stimulated by the fiber. The fiber will increase the water absorption, forming the larger, softer stools that rapidly passes through the colon. And the soluble fibers bind the bile acids and the cholesterol as well as cholesterol. This is beneficial. This is very helpful for the people who are suffering from the coronary heart diseases. The fiber will reduce the cholesterol level in the body, in the blood. Fiber reduces the triglycerides as well as cholesterol level in the blood. Fiber is very much helpful to the people on the weight reduction regime. The fiber will provide the satiety. That means your stomach feels full. The value to the meal as it needs more chewing, and at the same time there is not add to the calorific value of the meal. Thus, it provides a satiety value to the meal. This lowers or it helps in the lowering of blood sugar level in the diabetic people by slowing down the carbohydrate absorption. This also helps in the lowering of the insulin requirement. Regular intake of the fiber may prevent the cancer of colon as well as the rectum. The next we'll move on to the requirements. Okay. Next we'll move on to the requirements. In the normal adult, 40 grams per day. See, in the normal adult diet, an intake of the fiber is about 40 grams per day. This is recommended, which can be easily supplied through the whole grain cereals, fruits as well as the vegetables. So, the daily requirement is about 40 grams per day for the normal adult. When coming to the deficiency, excessive straining, and hard stool, hemorrhoids, and diverticulosis. These are some of the the low intake of the regular diet could cause the excessive straining and the increased hardness of the stool, hemorrhoids as well as the diverticulosis. These are more prevalent among the population with low fiber intake. Now, what do you mean by this hemorrhoids? Hemorrhoids means the swollen as well as the inflamed veins in the rectum and anus that cause discomfort and bleeding. Hemorrhoids are usually caused by the straining during the bowel movement. And the diverticulosis. The diverticulosis is a condition in which small bulging pouches will be developed in the digestive tract. Now, the deficiency of the fiber, it causes excessive straining and the increased hardness of stools, hemorrhoids and diverticulosis. Next, we will move on to the excess of fiber. Excessive fiber. A high fiber diet produces the abdominal distension and pain. Abdominal distension and pain. The flatulence and diarrhea. This also decreases the absorption of calcium, zinc and iron. This may pre-deposit the predispose the individual to osteomalacia and iron deficiency, that is anemia. The decreased zinc absorption in the children will produce the stunted growth and retarded sexual development. So, when coming to the excess effects of the fiber in the body, the high fiber content or excess of fiber in the diet produces the abdominal distension as well as the pain, the diarrhea, and it decreases the absorption of calcium, zinc and iron. What will happen due to the decreased absorption of the calcium, zinc and iron? It may predispose the individual to osteomalacia. That means it may cause osteomalacia and anemia, that is the iron deficiency, as well as due to the less or decreased absorption of the zinc in the children. It produces the stunted growth and retarded sexual development. So students, in this class we have learnt about the fiber, the dietary fiber, which could be defined as the component of the plant material in the diet that cannot be digested by the human enzymes. When coming to the classification, the soluble as well as insoluble fibers are the two types of classification of fibers. Soluble fibers is a type of fiber which dissolve in the water to form a gel-like substance or gel-like material. It can help in the lowering of blood cholesterol and sugar level. The soluble fibers are found in oats, peas, beans, apple, carrot, barley, etc. These are the viscous and fermentable. Insoluble fibers. These are non-viscous, slowly fermentable, and these includes cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin. A type of fiber that promotes the movement of material through your digestive system and increases the stool bulk. Therefore, it can be of benefit to those who struggle with the constipation and irregular stools. Whole wheat flour, wheat bran, nuts, beans, vegetables, etc. are some of the good sources of insoluble fibers. The amount of the soluble and insoluble fiber varies in different plant foods. To receive the greatest health benefits, you have to eat a wide variety of high fiber foods. When coming to the food sources, whole grain cereals, fruits, vegetables with edible peel and seeds are the rich sources of fiber. When the functions, the fiber can absorb and hold the water, which increases the fecal bulk. It prevents the constipation problems. That is, the dietary fiber increases the weight and size of your stool and softens it. A bulky stool is easier to pass through, the decreasing your chance of constipation. If you have loose watery stool, fiber may help you to solidify the stool because it absorbs the water and adds bulk to stool. A high fiber diet may lower the risk of the developing hemorrhoids and small pouches in the colon, that is the diverticular diseases. Some fiber is fermented in colon and this play a very important role in prevention of the colon diseases. Soluble fibers found in the beans, oats, flax seeds, oat bran, etc. may help to lower total blood cholesterol level by lowering the low density lipoprotein or bad cholesterol levels. In people with the diabetes mellitus or diabetes, the fiber, particularly soluble fiber, can slow the absorption of sugars and help to improve the blood sugar level. A healthy diet that includes the insoluble fiber may also reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. High fiber foods tend to be more filling than the low fiber foods. That is, it provides you satiety. So, you are likely to eat less and stay satisfied for longer period. And high fiber foods tend to take longer to eat and to be less energy dense. That means they have fewer calorific value for same volume of the food. The regular intake of fiber may prevent the cancer of colon and the rectum. Around 40 gram of the fiber per day is recommended in the normal adult's diet. When coming to the deficiency, so hard stools, excessive straining, hemorrhoids and diverticulosis is seen. These are seen, and then coming to the excess of the fiber in the diet, it is abdominal distension and pain, flatulence and diarrhea, and decreases the absorption of the calcium, zinc and iron, which in turn causes the osteomalacia, anemia and stunted growth and retarded sexual development in children due to the decreased zinc absorption. The students, this is for today. Thank you.